Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm P. Shravan Kumar, the founder of SK Associates and Group, and I'm delighted to welcome you all to the second session of Conference 4.1, wherein we will be going through the topic of fostering entrepreneurship in education, fostering an entrepreneurial mindset in education. We are delighted to have you all join us once again as we continue our exploration of this fascinating topic.
Indeed, it's wonderful to see familiar faces and new participants joining us today. We hope you had a restful day and are ready to dive into another session filled with valuable insights and discussions.
Exactly, Tia. Today, again, we have an exceptional lineup of speakers who bring a wealth of knowledge and practical insights to the table.
So, without further delay, let's introduce our esteemed speakers for today's session. Our first speaker is Professor Madhulika Kaushik. She serves as the Vice Chancellor of Usha Martin University in Ranchi, Jharkhand, India. She has been with UMU since July 2017, initially joining as Vice Chancellor. Professor Kaushik holds a PhD from Jayanarayan Vyas University, Jodhpur, awarded in 1990. Her academic experience lies in management, and she has contributed to the field through various publications and research endeavors. Under her leadership, UMU emphasizes inclusive development, transparency, and ethics, aiming to prepare students for the complexities of the 21st century.
Next up, we have none other than Dr. Ram Lakhan Singh, who is presently contributing as the member of Research Council of CSIR, Indian Institute of Toxicology Research, MG Marg, Lucknow, India. He has shaped Nilambar Pitambar University, Medininagar, a state university of Jharkhand, as its vice chancellor for a tenure of 3 years from 2nd June 2020 to 1st June 2023. Professor Ram Lakhan Singh ji also served as the professor of biochemistry for more than 22 years at Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia Awadh University in Ayodhya, UP. He has been on the board of management of Madan Mohan Malviya University of Technology, Gorakhpur, and member of executive council for Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapith, Varanasi, for two tenures of 2 years each. Professor Singh also held positions of head departments of biochemistry and environmental sciences, coordinator of biotechnology programs, dean faculty of science, dean student welfare, and director Institute of Engineering and Technology at Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia Awadh University, Ayodhya. He has more than 36 years of experience as a professor and academic administrator and 45 years of experience as a researcher. He earned his master's degree from University of Lucknow in 1980 and a PhD in 1987 from CSIR, Indian Institute of Toxicology Research, Lucknow. His area of research is environmental biochemistry and biotechnology and nutraceutical biochemistry. His specific interests include biomeditation of textile mill effluents, nutraceutical antioxidant properties of fruits, vegetable, and medicinal plants, use of phytochemicals for remediation of environmental pollution related health issues, and assessment of Indian Ayurvedic formulations for the antioxidant or nutraceutical properties. Professor Singh published 121 research papers in journals of international repute and has authored 23 book chapters and written 12 books published by Springer, CRC, and Elsevier. Professor Singh guided 26 students for their PhD degrees and several MSc students for dissertations. He has been invited as editorial board member of several international journals and is an office bearer and life member of various learned societies. Professor Singh has been honored by Best Teacher Award by International Association of Lions Club in 1999 and also has been awarded by IUTOX Senior Fellowship by International Union of Toxicology at Montreal, Canada in 2007. He has been conferred with the Shikshak Shri Samman by Government of Uttar Pradesh in 2012 and also been conferred with the Lifetime Achievement Award by Society of Life Sciences India in 2018, by Astha Foundation in 2022, and Sarvahit Kalyan Samiti in 2024.
Our next speaker is Dr. Vinod R. Malkar. Dr. Vinod R. Malkar is the Dean of Commerce and Management at Sanjeevani University, Kopargaon, Maharashtra. With over 19 years of experience in management education, research, and consulting, he specializes in marketing, digital marketing, and startup and new venture management. Dr. Malka has authored 4 books, published over 60 research papers, guided PhD scholars, and delivered training to over 5,000 educators. He is a recipient of numerous awards, including the 100 Most Dedicated Professors of India Award at the 7th World Education Congress.
Next is none other than Dr. Sailesh Iyer, who has a PhD in computer science, postdoctoral from University of Louisiana, USA, public university ranked amongst the top 100 public universities in USA, and has currently been serving as a professor and dean with Rai University, Ahmedabad. He has more than 23 years of experience in academics, industry, and corporate training, out of which 18 years are in core academics. He has been awarded with the Research Excellence Award for years 2021 and 2022 by Rai University, and an honorary adjunct research scientist at Neurolabs International under Dana Brain Health Institute, Iran, from August 2022 to August 2025. He has several patents granted and published to his credit, and is involved as an editor for various book projects with Elsevier, IGI Global USA, CRC Press Taylor and Francis UK, and Bentham Science UAE. He has been invited as a keynote speaker in various international conferences held in China, Indonesia, Philippines, Saudi Arabia, Haiti, Ukraine, Italy, and India. A hardcore academician and administrator, he has excelled in corporate training, delivered 150 plus expert talks in various AICT sponsored STTPs, Atal FDPs, reputed universities, government organized workshops, and refresher courses organized by HRDC Gujarat University. His research contribution include reputed publications, including being the track chair at ICDLAIR 2020, organized by Springer Italy, Softcom 2020, IEMIS 2020, again organized by Springer, ICRITO 2020, organized by IEEE, ARISE 2021, FTSE 2021, and TPC member of various reputed international and national conferences. Reviewer of international journals such as Multimedia Tools and Applications Springer, Journal of Computer Science, Scopus Index, International Journal of Big Data Analytics in Healthcare, IGI Global, Journal of Renewable Energy and Environment, and editor in various journals. He is also a reputed member of CSI Ahmedabad chapter from 2018 to 2020.
Our next speaker is Dr. Shobana Chaudhary. Dr. Shobana Chaudhary has more than 15 years of teaching and academic administration experience. Presently, she is working as Associate Professor and Dean Student Welfare with the ICFAI University, Jharkhand, Ranchi. She is a regular invitee and trainer at the Indian Audit and Accounts Department, Government of Jharkhand. She is a lifetime member of Indian Commerce Association. She has more than 10 years of experience since 2012. Her research area is digital finance, self service facilities in banks and financial institutions. Dr. Chaudhary is author of 2 books, one entitled Empirical Study of Retail Self Service in the Banks of Jharkhand, published by Lambert Academic Publishing, Germany, May 2018, and other is Handbook for Keywords of Commerce and Finance, published by Notion Press India, October 2020. She has been invited as session chair in international conferences organized by the University of the State Fiscal Service of Ukraine and Warsaw University, Poland. She has presented research papers in 16 international and national conferences. Her publications include 7 research papers in international or national journals and 6 chapters in books. She has attended 8 workshops. Dr. Chaudhary is a PhD and holds masters in business management, international business and commerce. She has been awarded the Academic Excellence Award 2022 from Institute of Scholars, registered under Ministry of MSME and Corporate Affairs, Government of India on 3rd March 2022, and the Faculty of the Year 2014 from ISM Ranchi. She also holds masters in Kathak Nritya and has received double gold medal in classical dance and award from Honorable President late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. She has worked as a banker at Axis Bank, main branch Kolkata till December 2012. Thereafter, her inclination towards academics and interest in academic administrative roles made her join IIM Ranchi in 2012. She has worked as faculty research associate at Indian Institute of Management Ranchi and conducted the detailed survey relating to the plying of auto rickshaws in the city of Ranchi for Deputy Commissioner and District Magistrate in November 2012. Prior to joining ICFAI University, Jharkhand, she has worked with MIT University, Jharkhand and Institute of Science and Management.
Our final speaker for today is none other than Dr. Sanjay Kumar Bal, who is a doctorate in management studies from the Business School, University of Jammu, and he is also the Vice Chancellor for Indus International University, Batu, District UNA from the last 3 years. He has studied science and education in graduation and is a postdoctorate in business administration and English. He holds a PG diploma in marketing and sales management, and Dr. Bahal has authored nearly 45 reserve papers and 6 books. He has been a keynote speaker in various national and international conferences, workshops, FDP, seminars, and conclaves. His core subjects have been in principles of management, organizational behavior, marketing management, HRM, and personality development. He has 38 years of experience in industry, teaching, research, and placement. Dr. Bahal was the research person at AIMA, Netcom, SEBI, Ministry of Corporate Affairs for investor awareness campaigns and entrepreneurship for RCED, Chandigarh, etc. He is also an adventure lover and a mountaineer. He loves to explore new and tough challenges towards nation building with his action. We are grateful for all of your presence and eagerly anticipate your valuable insights and contributions to today's conference speakers. We'd also like to inform all our attendees and panelists that the HR team will be conducting polls in the chat box throughout the session. We encourage active participation from you in them. So before we begin with the conference, I would like to again request all attendees who have joined a bit late to kindly switch on their webcams and keep them on throughout the session. I'd also request all the attendees to keep a notebook and a pen handy in case you wish to jot down any important points cited by the speakers. Now, moving ahead, I would like to invite Professor Madhulika Kaushik, Vice Chancellor of Usha Martin University, Ranchi, to commence her speech and share her insights. Yeah, Dr. Kaushik, you are not audible. If you can just unmute yourself.
Okay. Just to say thank you very much for having me here. This is a
Sure.
topic very close to my own heart, but I was a little reluctant to join because there's a major activity going on in my home because of some major function. So, but I'll be there. I promised that I'll be there for a small time. Uh, Entrepreneurship in education is something very close to my heart because I immediately after finishing my term at the Jodhpur University, where I studied and did my PhD and joined as a started my career, I came to IGNOU, and IGNOU at that time it was beginning, and it was on the cutting edge of new experiments, innovations in open and distance education, online learning, and so on. I was fortunate enough to work for the Commonwealth of Learning, which is the lead organization for open distance learning and online education for the entire Commonwealth. And one of my tasks was looking at innovations and so on. IGNU set up a center for a national center for innovation in distance education and entrepreneurship. So I was the first director, and therefore had a very enjoyable time because new technologies, their applications were breaking. And it's while we talk about the NEP 2020 as being a game changer in educational entrepreneurship, if you look at some of those requirements that are coming in terms of multiple entry and exit, credit transfers, and so on, they've been part of the open distance learning game for a long time. Similarly, learning outcomes based on all of that has so we sort of lived through that, and it's a sort of a vindication of the beliefs that we had that the more you open up education, the more you open up entry to people, and actually put quality as this thing while they exit. That is, you ensure all the learning outcomes are achieved before that. You are letting a thousand flowers bloom. You are letting a large number of new experiments in education come in. So, being entrepreneurial means to me means taking responsible risks. We are talking about education and preparation of life, preparation for life of young people who will be using this to get into decent um working careers. Therefore, you need to have what is called responsible audacity, responsible choices for innovative and entrepreneurial ideas. That's, if you can look at the person at the end of it, the learner, and what is it that you're going to do in terms of his learning competencies and so on. We've been fortunate that the industry 4.0 today demands an education 4.0, and therefore we are truly living in an era of lifelong learning. No matter how recently you've had your professional education in engineering or management or any of the medical sciences, the world around you is changing so fast, technologies are multiplying so fast that you still have to go back to the drawing board. So we have to keep on learning every single morning when you open your computer. And I'm a member of one of the tech groups. Every morning I find there are newer pedagogies, newer technologies, newer assessment methodologies that I don't really know much about. Therefore, you're back to the learning board. So, we, in order to match up to the requirements of the world around us, have to be entrepreneurial in education. If you look around what has changed the last decade, I call that everyone calls it decade of disruptive change. You must have all read Christensen's book. We've seen, partly because of major um pandemics around the world and so on. But if you look about very quickly, what has been the, and I'm sure some of you look at the Horizon report from time to time. What are the major trends that have been changing in education? For example, we have remote work and remote learning. It's become a fact of life. Distributed work, remote work, and so on. How do you prepare people for those? Um, there has been advancing cultures of change and innovations. AI is a major example, how it's changing the way we live, work, transact, and so on. There is a very wide, even for conventional education institutions, brick and mortar, chalk and board institutions, there is a widespread adoption of the hybrid learning models. One of the good things that came out of the COVID pandemic. There is an increasing focus on measuring learning. Merely completion of syllabi and all is past its best date. You would all be aware that the big four in employment, the Price Waterhouse and the consulting firms and so on, have actually tried to de-link degrees from work requirements. So as long as you have competencies that you can prove, they would not really insist on uh, formal degree qualifications. There has been a major rethinking on learning spaces. Where do you learn? So traditional ideas about learning only in a class, learning can happen anytime, anywhere. And one of the major things, major winds of change that has come around the world is the development of open education resources, the world of MOOCs, and so on. Therefore, good content, good teachers are ubiquitously available, not necessarily within the confines of an institution or within the confines of a classroom. Therefore, it's possible, and there are people who've gone ahead to say education will not take place because of the universities, but in spite of the universities. That means it's education is getting unbundled. Therefore, in order to be entrepreneurial, we need to actually look at what is the end objective in terms of learning competencies that we need to develop, and what are the best ways in which we can ensure that they get developed. Therefore, whether it's an immersion with the industry, whether it is part internship or half and half the time the students spend immersed in the industry, or the industry comes and sets up what is called workshop within the educational institutions, whether we unbundle the whole credit package into identified credit based courses. The student is free to take any courses from any institution, provided he takes a certain number in a given institution so that the degree certification can be given by that institution. Your own academic bank of credits, where the credit repository can be maintained at the central level, and the student can actually use these credits to seek admission, go for further studies, and so on. These are some of the entrepreneurial things that need to be done and need to be implemented fast. However, uh, what has happened is that, as against these tectonic changes that have happened around the world of work and new technologies that demand uh, certain competencies which have so far not really been mainstreamed in universities, the institution of higher education have not changed much. There have been what is called small incremental positive changes, but the kind of tectonic shifts that are required because of the kind of major changes that are happening in the world of work are not really becoming mainstream. It therefore requires an entrepreneurial leadership within universities, within policy making, within the educational ecosystem, as well as the employer system, uh, to begin to look at measuring of these competencies, finding a degree of fit between the competencies demanded and the competencies being presented, that that will only happen when entrepreneurial leadership within universities will take place. I mean, if you look at which are the major areas where you need where possibilities of entrepreneurship are there or entrepreneurial behavior are there, they are at all levels. For example, the design of curriculum, the development of curriculum, the delivery of curriculum, and the assessment of learning competencies. All four are major areas. How can we look at design, development, and so on? Uh, at the stage of design, it used to be a hugely academic activity where academic councils met, the heads of the department, and the board of studies met with some externals, of course. Um, why can't, who are the users of these competencies? The world of work, the industry, and so on. Why can't we make sure that all of these academic decision making bodies have representation from the industry, who can then tell you very clearly what are the competencies they seek but which are not really readily available? So after the graduate passes out, they need to spend time with him to make him work ready. Now, there are universities that have made that change already. Mine is one. We've made sure that all our decision making bodies have industrial represented. There is some difficulty in the sense they have a different way of looking at things as compared to academics and so on. But you would be amazed to notice how quickly it gels out into a working decision system. Uh, Another thing is that is required is that, whether you like it or not, the learners, especially in higher education, are increasingly taking control of their own learning. Whether you offer a specialization in your own university or not, they go ahead and actually opt for that specialization from the vast era of open courses that are available, and they can bring that back. Now, I can take advantage of that tendency by making sure that I allow that. I mean, as a educational strategist, I allow that credit to be reflected into my own mark sheet and give them credit for that, and so on. So we might have to get out of our standard uh, what is called predetermined way of how does a CGPA gets worked out when it's there are courses which are not being examined by you. We will need to open up. The NEP has made the fallow ground for all of this, in the sense the UGC now allows about 30% credits to be taken from. But apart from the credits, what is it that is required is a assessment of competencies that you're wanting in terms of your program learning outcomes, wherever they come from. I mean, as long as 50% of the credits are taken from your 50 to 60% credits are taken from your own institution, can I be bold enough to say, if the education has been, it's an eklavya kind of a moment, that whether he has learned his archery and learned his competencies, then can I therefore admit him to a higher course? Because the other entrepreneurial thing that is coming in is accreditation of prior learning, APEL. Uh, this accreditation is experiential learning, and therefore, if a person can give me documented proof, and when I was working in Malaysia as the deputy vice chancellor of Wawasan Open University, we had a whole section which actually looked at APEL activities, where professionals who've been working as bankers, they may not have a degree in banking, but if they have done financial intermediation, if they've done work in fintech, and come and prove, give us evidence of activities that have been done, we can actually accredit and assess their competencies and give them credit for that course and make them free from taking that course as part of their MBA program. Now, those are things that will take planning, that will take development of operating procedures, where the university body will need to sit down and make what is called guidelines and rules to ensure that these processes are followed, but it will solve. I mean, if you think about it in a more proactive environment, it would solve a number of problems, in the sense you get people with actual experiential work experience within the university, which could actually create that kind of a ecosystem among other students. It would relieve you from having faculty requirements for every small specialization and so on and so forth. It could bring in new competencies within the, you could use some peer learning within that environment. Again, uh, when we're talking in terms of open ubiquitous learning, where a course is available or learning is available at the click of a button uh, by the learners, is it a good idea for us to enable learners to actually explore their choices, come back to us as university administrators, and say that in addition to my existing courses, this is an additional course I want to take. Can I be relieved of a basic course, or can I be, because I'm bringing in these credits? Could we sit down at the chalkboard and say 120 credits required for a graduate program? What is it that I would enable if the student is getting more entrepreneurial, getting more work related competencies, and so on? Could we go back to the thinking board on this? This requires a more uh, a more creative and out of the box thinking, as long as you're not compromising the uh, the program related competencies and the graduate requirements, or the graduate attributes for that particular program. I personally think that we need to go into a sort of a brainstorming on some of these basic things, in terms of design of curriculum, in terms of delivery of curriculum, and in terms of assessment. I would like to say something about development, where we talk in terms of academics getting together to sort of plan course curriculum and so on. I think it's time, and IGNO used to do it regularly, that part of the course team used to be practitioners. Practitioners may not be having the capacity to write, but they could actually identify the framework within which the course has to, or what are the inputs that are uh, core that need to be built in, and so on. uh, as you bring them in, they also try to become more familiar with how the entire exercise of competency development and competency testing takes place. So while we talk in terms of an open economy and so on, it's high time that we started looking at higher education as a more inclusive, as a more uh, daring kind of an experiment, where the ultimate goal of all of us, the regulators, the university administrators, the teachers, and the people who are going to use these, is development of the right kind of competencies. So while the industry identifies and talks about the competencies that they will be needing uh, in the short term and in the long term, if they could sit down, we could sit down at the drawing board together. We could then look at them playing a part in the development of the curriculum by bringing in, helping us with case studies, to looking at live problems that, and some of the internships could actually be live problems of the institute, of the industry, that students solve in a group with the help of their own teachers or an industry participant coming in. Now these are some of the things that uh, can be tried, that are being tried. The important thing is to have the eye on the ultimate goal of each program having a set of identified competencies, identified graduate attributes. We need not worry too much of how they are being developed, as long as the process is transparent and accountable. Whether they're done in my own institution, the student is doing it in a field, he's doing it in an industry, he's doing it as a group of as a project, and doing it experientially. As long as he can come and display the competency, get it measured, uh, I think we need to become a little more open about it, and therefore exercise, as I said, responsible audacity, exercise uh, this kind of risk taking, provided
Excuse me,
we have done.
Dr. Madhulika, if you could conclude your speech in
Yeah,
2 minutes since we are under a time
yeah.
constraint. I'm
So
so
I just
sorry.
said design, development, delivery, assessment. These are the four areas which are all ripe for entrepreneurial activity. They just need to be mainstream and thought about as a group. That's it. Thank you.
So, firstly, Madhulika ji, thank you for an amazing speech. It was quite informative to hear from you on these IGNU wala Purana model and obviously the new changes that are coming up in the system. Really appreciate your perception on this, and your contribution has been a bit different than the other panelists we have till today. We'll obviously be sending out someone for a collaboration too soon. Still, thank you
Yeah.
for your amazing speech. Yeah. Ms. Vajpayee, if you can just take it forward.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor Madhulika, for such an insightful speech. I would request that you please share your email address in the chat box. If any of our audience has any questions or
Yeah.
seeks further information, please don't hesitate
Definitely.
to reach out to her. Yeah.
Definitely.
Uh, let's welcome our next speaker, Dr. Ram Lakhan Singh, and I request him to commence his speech.
I guess Dr. Singh is not in the meeting today. Tia, if you could just move on to the next one.
Okay, sure, sure. Uh, moving on, let's welcome Dr. Vinod R. Malkar to share his thoughts.
Yeah, thank you, SK Associates, for inviting me this conference 4.1 Fostering Entrepreneur in Education. It's a really fortune to me to have an interaction and sharing my last 15 years of experience in the field of education. Specifically, not only I guided to the management students, but I helped more than 500 plus ventures to run their business, economically viable and make them sustainable also. So in my entire MBA program, I developed so many entrepreneurs through the right education. So I guide all these buddy entrepreneurs for on an entrepreneurial ventures, fostering entrepreneurial in education. First of all, let me have in the with the experience of these 20 years in the field of education, we found that majority of institutions or universities are focusing on placements, and they are having an competitions like this. Our institute have a package of 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs. So these one of the mindset and competition amongst the institutions showing the packages of placements and students get an attract. So that's why we are just focusing on campus placement, recruitment and packages through MNCs and all. Secondly, the mindset of the parents is also needs to be worked out, because the entrepreneurial have certain calculated risk they has to take. The changing the parents mindset is also important in that line. So whenever we have focusing on this entrepreneurial issue we have to equally guide to students as well as parents, and we have to show an equally importance even during a Startup India campaign and the AICT 7 pay curriculum of technical educations. They has made one statement over there. Henceforth, the outcome of an education institutes will be measured on the entrepreneurship, not on the placements. So this was also at India level, there is a need to increase the startups. There is a need to increase an entrepreneurial ventures so that only the economical development happens in India. Because this entire world is run by the companies and the calculating and value of an company only that boost an economy. If we have to become a number one country, then the per capita income of an India should be increased, and that will be increased only when the money comes in our hand, and the money comes in our hand only when we have more and more number of ventures and more number of job creator rather than the employment. So now in entire India, we found a job crisis and all these things. So the only solution is an entrepreneurship. So this is something that we have to understand as the entrepreneurial culture. Secondly, I want to highlight about in an entrepreneurial education how the institution should start. So this is something a need of the country that we should foster an entrepreneurship. But how? The how this question comes in our mind, and we have to start with generation of ideas or starting a new product. So how the ideas can be generated? The Booz Allen and Hamilton has classified about certain what do you mean by new product. So new product he has classified in 5-6 types, around 6 types. So if I am not all remember, but I will just guide you on which are the types are much more important. The first, what kind of businesses? What is mean by new product? So new product first categorized as a product which is new to the world, breakthrough technological products. So can I solve a problem by changing the technology? That we have to think. So suppose nowadays electric car is coming in the market, or maybe the first time Facebook, driverless car, Instagram, or maybe Google. So these all are first time came with technological breakthrough products. So means bringing a new technology and changing the entire world. So we changed when television to computer, computer to internet. Even if you take an example of memory devices, we convert from floppy to CD, CD to pen drive, pen drive to hard disk. Like these are the technology that we changed. And nowadays the changing technology is continue, and we seen that what we not did in the last 100 years that we did in last 10 years, and from last 2 years what we did, I may say that in the next 2 years with the help of AI, ML, IoT, machine learning, these are the era that will replace us in many businesses. So recently I heard a news that 100 plus startups are starting every month based on AI, artificial intelligence. So one breakthrough technology will bring thousands of opportunities to start an entrepreneur, and it may be a completely breakthrough technology. Even when Google Map has been invented later on, these based on the Google Map, there are so many businesses now running. You take an example of Ola and Uber. If Google Map was not there, these businesses were also not there. When the dish TVs ads came, the channels ads came, then there are lots of new channels came and new businesses has been evolved. So one new technology creates thousands of businesses and even destroyed thousands of businesses also. So that also we have to take in considerations. We close the STD booths, we close the cameras that have a role, but the technology will not going to stop. So anyhow, we have to find out with the benefits of technology what we can bring a new products in the market. Second type of new products, all education institutions should think. First of all, product identification is one of the subjects initially in entrepreneurship. And secondly, we can focus on, can I change an existing product? So the big modification with an existing products can I do? Replacing the materials, replacing the things. So these kinds of also change we have to think, that also be the part of new product. The third, that is a new type of product that we have to think, can I repositioning the existing product? So a positioning of sunscreen later on, just the no fairness cream make a fairness, but just positioning the statement from sunscreen to fair screen has invented a new product line. So that is something also, is the positioning of an existing product is wrong, and can we bring a new products with these kinds of positioning? So this is also one of the new product. Even positioning and repositioning also happens, and that kind of category that we have to think whether this is a wrongly position in the minds of the customer, can I bring? So these are also the new kind of product. And the next type of product is cost reduction type of products. Can I reduce the cost of existing product drastically so that my new products will be available in less cost? Like initially, the battery driven car was highly cost, and some innovations happen, and slowly the cost of the car has getting reduced. I remember I had buy the pen drive of 1 GB in 2008 with a price of 2000 rupees. 2008 में मैंने एक पेन ड्राइव बाय किया था with a price of 2000 rupees. तो अभी now you say you will get within a 300 rupees a pen drive of 32 GB. So these kinds of new product that we have to consider. And once we, first is a product identification that we did, the product new to you people and not new to the world. That is also one of the part. Generally in India, these kinds of businesses are more. We can call this a copy paste business also. But that idea is new to US. That idea is old to USA, but new in India. That's why we can call this a new. Patanjali has launched so many product line. Was not new to the world, but it was a new to Patanjali, and still there is a scope. Many foods and fashion products, you come up with just something USP, then you can find out the new product. So the first start in an education system is, introduction, how the identify the product, and product should be problem solving products. Problems can be anything, or they will fulfill the need, hierarchical need of, that has been mentioned, the various level of needs by, in the motivational theories, or need hierarchical theory. So we have to identify needs and problems of the market, and accordingly offer the products to solve that problems or need of the market. The bigger is the problem, the bigger the products demand you have. During COVID, there is a huge demand for this, vaccination. That's why you find there is a great demand to an vaccination, because you are solving the biggest problem of the world. So the problem may be the local problem, the problem may be the state problem, national problem, or international problem. So start from identifying local problems, and if your problem is an international problem, you will get an international market. So this is the first semester that we should learn. Secondly, once you focus, you identify the problems. I have a less time, so I just cover next 2-3 minutes with the permission of sir. So Just moving ahead, once you focus on you identify the problem, let's have convert that problem into product. So first P is important, and the second semester or maybe the second phase for an entrepreneurial education, the converting problem or need into a product. So identify the demand of the products, identify the competition in the market. So once and what kind of need in the market, what kind of features is required in the market. So product stands for product features, then we focus on brand building, then you focus on packaging, then branding, then these kinds of first P that you have to about product attributes that we have to focus on. Once we manufacture the products, we design the products, or we had given the products, then move towards the pricing. Give an appropriate pricing to that product so that it is a competitive or the company is earning the profit. The pricing strategies also that you have to learn. Then how you, the third is, that is third P, that is place, that is nothing but the channel of distributions. So how your products will reach to the end customer, that you have to focus out. So the product that you had prepared, you had given a good price to that products, and now you have to, your product should reach to the end user. So whether you will going to reach with zero level of channel of distribution, one level of channel of distribution, or two level of channel of distribution. So that needs you have to decide. And then the last P, how my promotion, that is the last P, how my products will reach to the target customer. So it is nothing but identification of problems, converting problems into product, establish the lines of manufacturing, keep it a good marketing, bring the finance, bring the proper people in your organizations. And once you bring all these together, learn how to run the business economically viable. So these are the various phases, from identification of problems to the satisfaction of need of the customer and delightness of the customer and wow kind of experience to the customer to satisfy their needs and wants. So if any entrepreneur or any students if focus on these areas, then that businesses will really the one of the best businesses. And I hope today's participant will focus on this, and contributing in the Indian economy by starting their own ventures. I'm always ready to guide to all the entrepreneurs on running an business economically viable and growing the business. And I feel very happy that the someone should take this responsibility, that the students, we say that the students are not employable, but as an educational institutions, we should come forward to take this responsibility, make more and more employable. Thank you sir, for this wonderful approach.
Thank you, Vinodji, for your amazing speech. And obviously, I appreciate your points. And obviously, world has changed a lot in the past 5 years. वो तो मोबाइल्स के एस्पेक्ट्स में हम देख ही रहे हैं. पहले नोकिया चलता था, now Samsung is leading the market. Maybe tomorrow only Apple will be there. The world keeps changing. Thank you for your contribution. I would like to request you to share your email ID in the chat box, so if anyone has queries, they can personally connect with you. Thank you. Further moving ahead, I would like to invite Dr. Sailesh Iyer, Dean for Rai University, to commence his speech and share his insights with us.
Very good evening. I would like to congratulate SK Associates and Group for organizing this excellent conference. And the title itself is very attractive, wherein it is Conference 4.1. So it's a different version. And probably that is what innovation is all about, having new versions of products and new versions of entrepreneurship related styles. So like before I share my screen, I just want to go a little bit different from the earlier speakers, but I think so the excellent speakers before me have set the stage for me, because they have not rather focused more on technology, which I wanted to focus upon. So they have set the stage of the managerial part of it, and now I want to focus upon the technical part,
Sure,
technology.
sure,
So
sure.
like first of all, a few points before I share my screen and I move on to the slides. First is that I believe that 10 years from now, there will be no jobs. Now, if anybody says this, probably you will tell that you are insane or whatever it is. But yeah, this is going to be the culture going forward, because we can experience this now itself at Try University. I would like to say that most of the students in the engineering, in their MCA domain, are already freelancers. So they are already entrepreneurs, they are doing the work, and they are doing the work at their will. What it means is that if I am free in the evening, I'll be working for 2 hours or 3 hours and I'll be earning a handsome amount of money. So I'm not doing a job anywhere. I'm just taking a project and I'm completing it. So that is going to be the kind of jobs that are going to be the future. So I just say that jobs are not going to be there. It is going to be that you are going to set your own terms and conditions for the project, and you're going to get freelancing projects. So that is one important thing which I would like to focus upon, where probably academicians have to focus upon, because these are the things that we have to prepare the students for. So that is my first point. Second point, very pertinent point, is that all are talking very good about entrepreneurship. Even in Shark Tank and all such programs, you talk about all the successful ventures, but we are not training our students to be ready for the tough times, right? They are like, I believe that when we are talking about post COVID, I just got a survey saying that in next after COVID 1 year, that is 2022, there were more than 1 lakh startups in medical domain itself in India, medical domain, using medical imaging, using technology, AI, machine learning, all these concepts were being used. But when you talk about these technologies, I would like to say that 1 lakh came on the surface. There were many people who have failed because they were not trained for failure, and there were a lot of emotional aspects also which were not dealt with here. So when I talk about entrepreneurship, I think that we should be training our students for failure also, how to face the failure, how to face different components. And one more important thing is that plan B is very important. Plan A does not succeed, plan B is very important. And for every problem, there needs to be, I mean, you need to identify the pain points for that to be successful. So with these words, I would just like to quickly share my screen. I have some slides, but I would like to focus upon only the important parts so that I'm able to focus upon it on time. So this is what I would like to talk about today. First of all, like post COVID, the first thing we started, or rather when COVID affected, we were taking online classes, I remember. And the first few words that we used to say is that, am I audible? Am I visible? So probably these became a trend very soon. So now technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship in education, that's what I would be talking about today. Again, I would like to talk about this. Not all innovations are successful. So there are many times such innovations which are not successful. So what is innovation and what is success in that? So innovation is formed of invention plus commercialization. So if you're able to get both of them right, then probably the innovation can be termed as successful. This is the entrepreneurial process, where a cause is very important: causation, exploitation, opportunity, effectuation, and that is leading to entrepreneurship, wherein a firm, individual, and environment, they are all filtered and you get the output in terms of entrepreneurship. So if I just talk about some ideas, do ideas equal to opportunities? Do problems equal to opportunities? Now the reality is that idea is only an opportunity when it adds some value to a customer. Again, this has already been covered, so I'm not going to focus upon much time on that. It solves a problem. Again, very important that it should solve a pain point, or a pain problem should be solved. And it can make you some money also, because you don't actually do social service, so you're there to earn. Obviously, when you're an entrepreneur, you aim at earning better. It's a good fit with the entrepreneurial team. So this is what actually we talk about as entrepreneurship. And ideas, as I told you, can start with solving problems, so solving points of pain. So whatever NEP and all that we discussed, but if we are not able to train our students, if I'm teaching the coding to the students, now if they are not solving any problem during that coding sessions, then it's of no use to them, because they are just learning some kind of code which is not going to help them in the future. They are just being trained to code only, they are not being trained as problem solvers. So solving points of pain is very important. So we need to create that bent of mind among the students, where they notice when they're just going out, they are seeing people, they are talking with people, they are interacting with people, they are seeing different processes. They can notice some inefficiency, inconvenience to the people, and other forms of points of pain, and that can be used to build new business opportunities. So I think so that is basically what we need to focus upon. And idea starts with solving problems, as it is rightly said. No problems, no solutions, and no reasons for firms to exist. So that's why I'm telling that now onwards, in the future, maybe next 10 years down the line, we'll be finding people freelancing rather than going for a job. So there will be no fixed timings as such for a job. It is up to you whether you work 6 hours, 4 hours a day, but you have to solve that problem and you earn a good amount of money. So that's going to be the kind of jobs that are going to exist. No one pays you to solve a non-existing problem. So you have to be very practical when you are an entrepreneur. Now, these are the disruptive business models which can add, like emerging technologies is going to lower your value proposition is going to be added, your performance, simplicity, convenience, and accessibility, lower cost. So there are many benefits coming out of such kind of disruptive business models. But I would like to focus upon a few problems as such for, I mean, those participants who are students or who are just planning the entrepreneurship journey. So for them, I would just like to tell that these are the pain points which I'm talking about. Pan India smart solutions. Now, the present government has laid some foundation towards smart cities and smart villages. In 2014-15, the announcements were made that we will be having at least 100 smart cities and more than 100 smart villages by a particular year. Now, for that to be smart, all these problems have to be solved. So there are pain points in all the points that I've mentioned over here. There are, numerous problems, 21 of them, which I have listed over here. I'll be sharing the slides if you require it. You can go through the problems, and then I'm open to collaborations also, because we are working on some of the problems of waste management, etc., and many other problems which are listed here. So these are the problems which are the pain points. If we are solving this, probably I think so that can create a lot of entrepreneurship opportunities also. Now, this is what I was talking about. These are the challenges that are coming. Now, we had a MEG machine earlier, which was like weighing 450 kg. Now, there has been with the help of a 3D printed helmet, uh, a particular portable MEG device has been made with less than 1 kg. Now, the only problem is that this is very convenient, very much helpful for the patient. But the only problem is the cost. So, if the cost can be brought down, then that can be a game changer in the medical sector. So, there are many such. I mean, I'm talking about the healthcare industry because post COVID, this has become a very a huge business segment, and I think so. A lot of people will, collaborate with each other to have such problems solved. Ultrasonic device to capture blood pressure levels. Now, you will not find people having a low BP or a high BP, and then that goes undetected. So there are some devices which can be used for that. Smart contact lens for detecting glucose levels. Again, no checking required. There can be smart contact lens which can do the job. So I'm like just giving some kind of pain points that have been highlighted and solved. This is one more game changer, that I want to find out without any surgery what is happening inside the stomach, etc., or different, without any kind of insertion. Then it can be through an ingestible pills sensor system. So this is a ingestible pill which gets dissolved, and there is no side effects of that pill, and it can give you all the things that have been happening in the areas where it has been sent. So that is a kind of a X-ray sort of thing internally. So this is without any kind of radiation being involved, and this is very much patient friendly. Now, this is a huge market. I mean, wearable devices market is a huge market going forward, because I find that there are a lot of issues which are there, which are being solved. Now, earlier we were having our laptops, desktops. I mean, I worked on 1.2 MB floppy disk also. I have worked on 1.44 MB floppy disk also, and COBOL, Fortran. At that time, AI was taught as a theory subject. I'm talking about 98, 2000. Now, probably we'll find that there's a huge change here. Now, AI is practically being implemented. So, everywhere you have smart shoes, smart socks, smart pants, and all have different purposes. So, you will find that other than people, all the devices are smart. People also need to be smart for that. So, this is what probably is going to be the future, that you have all the devices which are having some of the functionality, and that will help you detect your health conditions and actually give you better medical prescriptions. Even your doctor can get all the information about your health vital statistics wherever you are without going to the doctor. So these are the changes that I'm talking about. Image processing in agriculture. Agriculture is a huge area. Like, we are working on one of the projects on agriculture also. So agriculture is a huge area, and I believe that this is going to be the game changer going ahead if AI, robotics, and many other features are used. IoT, as I called it, different sensors can be used. So if this all can be merged into one, image processing, artificial intelligence, uh, you can have IoT, and you can have robotics. If all the four are combined into one, then smart farms can be created. So this is what we can do for the farmer. Farmer need not be dependent upon this particular weather condition or different other aspects. We will find farmers very effectively conducting the agriculture. Now, these are image processing techniques in farming. I'm not going to the technical details, but yeah, we can acquire an image, we can do the pre-processing, segmentation, feature can be extracted, image can be classified, and then healthy or a diseased plant or leaf or etc. can be identified. So all these are part of the image processing and AI based terms that can be used in farming. This is one more problem which is in most of the cities. This is called a parking problem. So can you solve the parking problem for your vehicle, because vehicles are increasing, and how do you do that? So a smart parking problem solution can be provided here. There are many such solutions available. You can have floor wise selection of the parking also. So an app can guide you regarding that, and that app can be fitted to your wearable device, or it can be in your mobile, or it can be in your car itself. So that all features can be there. You select the floor and you will be allocated the parking space. So you don't have to actually hunt for the parking space. Then you have smart image processing also. Trial rooms will not be required now. You can just take the dress, put it upon you, and then you can identify whether the dress is suiting you. That image can be seen by you. So these are all virtual reality also is taking place here. So this is what smart image processing is all about. Image processing trends in digital twins. So again, digital twins is a very I mean modern technology topic which is very close to my heart. My latest books on digital twins for smart cities and villages was just recently in November. It has been published by Elsevier. It contains 27 glorious chapters contributed by various authors all around the world. So this is going to be the future of technology, digital twins, and this will remove a lot of problems that we are facing. So I mean, technology, all uh, I mean, various kinds of technologies are available here, and they can solve it here. So I would just like to end by these sentences. The research problems are around you. You can identify and solve them. Also, one more important thing, that what is probably missing is an interdisciplinary approach in education. Like, what I encourage my students is that engineering students can tie up with pharmacy students, and they can combine up with a project for healthcare. There can be management students combining with engineering and providing logistic solutions. So that technology and the basic points, pain points are known by different people around you of that domain. So they can really contribute in such aspect, and I think so this can be a game changer going ahead. So irrespective of whether the NEP is successful or not, if as educationists, if we are able to inculcate this culture, and if students are able to reciprocate it, like we have done an experiment. I'll just end with these sentences. We have just done an experiment where we have first year of engineering students and first year of BCA students working on some projects, and those projects are put on display, and we invite the concerned people, including the parents, all the stakeholders, even the industry people are also welcome to come. And the first version of this semester would be in February. So we have arranged such a project exhibition in February, where parents would also be visiting and seeing what the students are doing, what their child is doing. We have industry people. We have invited people from various technology industries like TCS, Capgemini, etc., Gandhinagar. They will come and visit, and they can give their inputs. So that is directly exposing the student to the market, and that is probably, I think so, where we can work wonders. So with these words, again, I would like to thank SK Associates and Group for organizing this wonderful session. And thank you very much for having me and inviting me here.
Firstly, I would like to thank you, Dr. Shailesh, for this amazing presentation. Actually, knowing out entrepreneurship from an engineering point of view is also quite important, as you just depicted it. So, actually, thank you for taking out a precious time and representing Rai University here. I appreciate it. If you could just share your email ID in the chat box, it would be a pleasure for our attendees. You can connect with you if they have any queries. Sure.
Sure, sir.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Moving ahead, I would like to invite Dr. Professor Bahal, Vice Chancellor of Indian Indus International University, to commence his speech and share his insights with all of us.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. I'm thankful to SK Associates and the students and the other uh, people who have talked on this topic. Uh, if I go little bit into the history, India was called the Sone ki Chidiya, and the Silk Route, which we were, utilizing, and every Indian was on the route to Persia and uh, the other places in Iran and Europe. But slowly and steadily, with the Britishers coming into it, and 200 years of slavery have put us on the job seeker list. So, as Dr. Vinod was also saying, that we boost off that, yes, I have our university or college have got so much of package in the placement. So yes, we take that privilege, but Dr. Salesh, who has come, and my youth who is listening will be a little bit in shock that there will be no jobs in 10 years to come. Don't worry, jobs will be there, and because yes, little bit of transformation will be there. Jobs will be there in the defense forces. Jobs will be there in police. Job will be there somewhere in the government sector also. So don't worry, jobs will be there. But if the jobs will be there, you will not be your bosses. Number one, the time will be 9 to 5, and that 5 can be extended to 8, 9, 10. Clear? And the money, you will get the same money, and that same money will be taxed. So it is up to you to choose either a job, you want to be a job seeker or a job giver. The moment you think that you are going to become a job giver, you are there the luxury of becoming your own boss, having lots of money in your pocket, the CA will tell you, and then the time. You can have lots of holidays, you can learn in those holidays. So, the entrepreneurship in education setup has to be taught by the teachers. We have in our curriculum the entrepreneurship, but nothing is happening. There were 500 startups in 2014, and it has just increased to 1,51,159 up till now. And out of that, approximately 85% have failed. You know why? Because the people who started up got confused, didn't have that passion, didn't have the knowledge of technology, didn't have the knowledge of accountancy, didn't have the knowledge of management. So all these things have to be taught. Now, how they have to be taught? Everybody talked about the education, everybody talked about the technology, but until unless the person, the Indian, is ready enough to take that challenge of becoming the entrepreneurship, nothing is going to be easy. So we need Dronacharya, Vashisht, Chanakya to groom these people, and that mindset. Even the teachers, they keep on telling, you have a degree, you go and get the job. That is not going to happen. We see China, which is coming up like anything, which we and the Chinese were at the same place in 1992. Within, you say, nearly 30 years, they reached much ahead than us. And the population we have got, we have to understand there's always a money in the entrepreneurship. A life will be comfortable in entrepreneurship. This has to be understood by the students. We also place the students in the job market. My students goes and work for 2 3 years, and then they turn the table. They learn the very basics of becoming a businessman, because to become a businessman, one has to be master of all the trades. He has to be good marketer, he has to be good accountant, he has to be good man management, a recruiter, he has to have a overall, and other, he has to be a good leader. So that is what is required at this moment. Teachers, not only from the very beginning, from the kindergarten, from the primary, from the secondary, senior secondary, of course, coming to the higher education, we have to have a mindset and the tools ready in our system. We have, we have a subject, entrepreneurship, even for engineering, even for pharmacy, even for people in the MSc chemistry. But do they go out and start their own business? No. They take that degree, they pass. So education itself, the people behind has to groom this the student force, and bring in them the confidence of starting, taking risk, and passion is number one. And they have to dream, and they have to look for the ethics along with the commitment. Dr. Abdul Kalam has said, dream and then turn that dream into action. So that is where, you know, the students have to be taught by extracurricular activities, by regularly sending them to the industries, how the industry is working. Of course, nobody will tell them the nitty-gritty or the basics of the industry. They have to visualize, observe, and then get involved with what is happening over there. So they have to create an interest by the, we talk about industry, academia, internship, industry, academia. Only 2 3, All India Management Association many a time uh, bring out the people from the industry, even the government, even the academia, to get closer, so know what is happening. So in that manner, some of the students are lured to become businessmen. I tell you, students, very clearly, even our parents do not push us for, entrepreneurship. They all keep on telling because they have done jobs. The Britishers have put a clause into our, generations that job is only the security. But nowadays, we have to understand as the things are changing, entrepreneurship will be more secure than the jobs. There are no permanent jobs now available. So one has to always adopt. We have seen our parents doing 30 years of service and then retiring. But today you see industries are laying off even after 5 years, even after 3 years, even after 2 years. And what the education has to see, education has to inculcate the case studies and the basics and the life of people like Jamshedji Tata, who created Tata, and still 100 years, after 100 years, 100, roughly 112 years, it is still surviving and one of the best industries in the world. Then the Dhirubhai Ambani, who started from 100, and when he left, it was 76,000 crores. So that entrepreneurship skill has to be there. The Narayan Murthy, who was offered a job, got collected 5 people, and then the Infosys started. You see the very basics of Asim Premji, who started Wipro, then the recent example of Gautam Adani. So the person who went to the heights of second, richest person in the world. So that is the way to think. Hats off to the Gujaratis. Hats off to the people of Rajkot, because Rajkot is a place. Any IPO comes, all companies who are with the IPOs, they go to Rajkot, because Rajkot, everybody is an entrepreneur. Everybody have a demat account. They invest into the new stocks, even the old stocks. So that is the way, one can look into. You see the Anand Mahindra, who collaborated beautifully with the defense industry, and they produce K2 Vajra. Not only Anand Mahindra, L&T, along with the Tatas. So there is a lot of opportunity in the defense sector, in the space sector, in the agro business, in the waste management. So these are the, new avenues, new businesses which are coming. Problems are going to be there. But one thing is very clear: India is an emerging market. From another 50 years, if you want to enjoy the flair of a Ferrari or a Mercedes or a house in the 5-6 canal, so you have to be an entrepreneur. If you want job, you will be in that 2-3 marla, 5 marlas or 10 marlas house with a car like Maruti or Swift. Then don't repent that you have gone into service or the job and not into entrepreneurship. So what I believe, that in education, the entrepreneurship has to be embodied by extracurricular activities through curriculum, incubation centers. But the numbers of incubation center is very less. Incubation center must start from the third class, fourth class, because what I believe, after the child gets an age of 10, his thinking power are reduced by the teachers as well as parents, कि तुझे सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है, तू ये पढ़ बस 3 hour और ये एग्जाम पास कर. I just remind of an incident where a teacher just gave zero to a small child, very in the kindergarten. When he wrote the answer to a question, the question was from which uh, east, uh, in which direction the sun rises. The student wrote that behind the stadium, where there are 2 eucalyptus trees, the sun rises from there. The child was very much correct because sun used to that observation was very much correct. So these students, these small kids have lot of imagination, have lot of creativity, that perception, because India needs now entrepreneurs. Because with the Tejas going into the service, we were promised 45 engines, but we were delivered only 3 or 4. So now the new entrepreneurs brought in the technology and developed Triveni. And today it's again a very much, when ISRO has joined 2 satellites in the space. So the new technology will be there, but that passion, that fire in the belly to earn money for the productivity of this country, for the productivity and wellness of this India, of the society, is very much required. So I think, as APJ Abdul Kalam used to say, the education system must inspire the students to take decisions to counter the problems in their ways. So many a time we have to, see and perceive how this problem will be solved. And that has to be done with creativity. For that creativity, our education system had the drawing classes, had theater classes, had paintings, rangoli, lot of things, but now with the focusing, with the 99.9% of percentile and percentage phobia, the parents along with the teachers are putting lot of stress on the students, so that problem solving criteria is not coming up. And then the times and again persons are getting to think that getting a degree, studying is only the way they can read, but that implementation of the entrepreneurship is very much required, which is not happening, because still India needs, I think, 100. We don't need smart cities, because we have seen in 10 years or so that we cannot turn the old cities into small cities. There are problems. So now the perception is to create 100 more cities, new cities. Let the old be old. So new cities have to be developed. 500 more airports have to be set, because the way we are increasing, even railways cannot take our load. And we cannot think about diesel, even electric. Where we will be disposing our batteries, there is again going to be environmental problems. So we have to think about the hydrogen and the nuclear buses and the four wheelers. That new, entrepreneurship aspects have to be there. So uh, very correctly said, कि we are there into a comfort zone. So firstly, all students have to be, taken, they should be taken out of that comfort zone in the new education system, which has, because we cannot keep on telling that this is the way to become an entrepreneur. Only thing is inspire, let them dream, and let them come up with the new aspects of the new things. Only then we can get into becoming an entrepreneurship. It is very much required. Nobody told Jamshedji Tata to become an entrepreneurship. Nobody told Dhirubhai Ambani. But that passion, Dhirubhai Ambani would have stopped once he started only Vimal at Patal Ganga. But he didn't stop there. He started with the polyvinyl, polypropylene, polyethylene, polyfiber, and then into the petroleum refinery, and one of the first in the Southeast Asia, in the private sector. So now one has to get involved. These case studies and the new generation have to think about Steve Jobs, have to think about Elon Musk, that how he is propagating that new idea of taking people from the earth to the space. So these all the new concept, as somebody was telling today, the entrepreneurship in India is coming up like anything. You have got and will be having money in 5 6 sectors: roti, kapda, makan, health, education, tours and travel. Today, the big kumbh is there. The whole world is looking into it. Today, the tours and travels don't have any accommodation in the kumbh people, and even there's no eternity for any hotel booking over there. Everything is booked. So who says the business is not there in India? And sorry to say, one of the finest students who secure 90 to 70%, they get into job. And from people who are the backbenchers, who are from 40 to 50 or 60, they become the entrepreneur. They travel in Mercedes. And people like us who do service, who obtain 80% marks, who get into the job, have alto to play. So it is not that people are satisfied, but how much inspired we are, how much more and more activity our students are doing, that we have to see with clear intentions, with knowledge. That has to be one of the best. And I'll say the system, the education, the system is there, the knowledge is there, but only thing is the teachers have to inspire for taking dreams, new project. I'll just give you an example. Zomato, an idea that how to deliver the cooked food to the people. 900 crores IPO came. They collected 1300 crores during the IPOs. And the best, the startups. One is Mess Blink, which is supplying the groceries at the doorstep, because the people who have got money in their pocket don't have time to purchase. So that idea instigated, and people have become. There's a lot of money in the agro business. There is in the agro processing lot of food. Near about 30% of the vegetables get waste, 20% of the fruits get waste, near about 15 to 18% of the food grain goes waste. So if we process it, because I know our relatives who are running a starch mill, the maize, 900 rupees quintal, they buy it, 9 rupees a kg. They mix into cornflakes, and cornflakes 200 grams sells for 300 rupees. So you can think that the 1 kg, 9 rupees, how it is converted. Similarly, the peas, in the time you get 40 rupees a kg, you collect it and you sell it for 120 rupees kg after some time. So it is, there's a lot of money, a lot of getting waste. There's a lot of money in the waste management, as I told you, even in the technology sector. So there is a lot of money. So industry has to get involved with the academic educations, which primarily they are not interested, they are not doing, except few clear people like Anand Mahindra. They are involved with the institutions. People like heroes, they are involved with it. But there are basically every loans are there. Every organization in this educational institution has to have 4 5 10 industries along with them, so that students can work in the evening over there. And the more role has to be there for all matlab, Indian All India Management Association, and even with your regional council of your entrepreneurship development institution like North India Technical companies, which can support the students, because once the idea is there with the student, that has to be nurtured. We have been doing the conferences, research papers, but nothing comes out of it. Whereas in China, if we say, the force, because what we are doing over here, there
Excuse
are
me,
very
Dr.
few
Bahal.
research papers,
I would
whereas
like to request you
many
to wrap
research
it up in
papers
two
which come over
minutes,
there.
if possible.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, very kind of you. So what we believe, in coming time, that the students have to be nurtured through confidence. They have to start small but dream big, work hard sincerely with ethics. Success will be with the entrepreneurship only for the country. Thank you.
Exactly, rightly said, Dr. Bahal. Success will obviously be with entrepreneurs because, again, salaried professionals can always generate a limited amount of tax for the nation, whereas entrepreneurs generate it always in 7 to 9 figures. So that was a great contribution from you, Dr. Bahal. Seriously, your real life
Thank you.
examples actually even made me ponder over some memes we have. So we also have some memes जहाँ पे दिखाया जाता है कि backbenchers are hiring frontbenchers after 2 to 3 years. I guess everyone might have seen that. So thank you for pondering over those real life examples.
Great.
It actually takes a daring to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot. Further, I would like to extend my thanks to all the speakers today who contributed to this amazing conference, including Madhulika ji from Usha Martin University, Vinod ji from Sanjeevani University, Sanjay Kumar Bahalji from International University, and obviously Sailesh from Rai University. Thank you for all your contributions and cases. Your presence has made this conference a bit different and unique every time, obviously. And all of the presentations have been from different perspectives, especially Sailesh's presentation. I think most of the engineers would have got it. Although I'm not from a technical background, I could still understand the agricultural wala part and multiple innovative things that were there inside. So thank you everyone for your contributions. And I would like to request you, Dr. Bahal, if you could just share your email ID in the chat box so that if anyone has any queries, they can personally reach out to you. Sure. I guess Ms. Bajpai, you can take it from here.
Sure. Now, as we come to the close of this remarkable conference, we would like to express a heartfelt appreciation to each and every one of you. The knowledge shared, the insights gained, and the connections made have all contributed to the success of this event. We are truly grateful for your participation. As we wrap up this conference, we kindly request all attendees to take a moment to provide the valuable feedback on and reviews on Google Form provided. Your input and thoughts are highly appreciated as they will help us improve our future events and continue delivering high quality conferences. Thank you for your participation and for being an integral part of this remarkable conference. We look forward to your reviews and hope to see you all at Conference 4.1 tomorrow as well. Until we meet again, stay inspired, keep dreaming, and continue to strive for excellence. Thank you all and farewell for now.
Thank you all. Have a great day. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.